Alrighty, hello again everybody. This is take 2 at match number 1 of the inaugural MIT League of Legends Club IAP tournament. This is the first quarterfinal between Clamba22adors 2 on the blue side and Galactic Trendsetters on the purple side.
I think it's actually pronounced Clamba22adors. Thank you, Twitch chat.
And I'm also informed that the correct pronunciation for the other team is airplane, 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 Galactic Trendsetters, airplane, airplane, airplane.
So the Graves ban, like I said before, really strong AD carry right now. Probably one of the best ones that there is. The Lux ban is a little interesting. I guess probably Clamba22adors mid laner plays a good bit of Lux. The Xerath also a really popular pick right now. He's really safe. Can kind of just like bombard artillery from his tower.
Quite a lot of mid lane bans so far. That's 3 out of our 4 bans focusing on the mid laners. So they're gonna have to find a champion deep in their pools.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Galactic Trendsetters is actually going to spend their 3rd ban as well on the mid lane. I guess target ban out the Clamba22adors and the Shin. I'm guessing that's a throwaway ban because Shin is not popular at all right now.
And Akali, the final ban, so really strongly mid lane targeted, mostly assassin champions banned out.
Yeah.
So far.
It's not too surprising, at least, to see the Ahri and the Akali. Just, you know, those are such snowbally champions. And the Janna is actually a really, really good first pick. Really safe, can fit into a lot of different team compositions. Also really popular right now. In lane, you know, she's got the shield for extra AD and just trades really, really well. She's got really good map presence with her extra mobility. Leona being hovered over by Galactic Trendsetters. It's a little interesting because, you know, Janna provides a lot of disengage, so you wouldn't expect someone like Leona to be picked into Janna.
Yeah, well, they're going to try and get a strong early lane presence with that Leona pick. We'll see if they actually lock it in. And
Vi also being thought about, basically just saying, no, I really don't care about your Janna, I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah.
The Vi is locked in, Leona's still being thought about.
So it's another pretty strong engage pick in the Vi there, especially her ultimate just getting in among the team, trying to do damage. So Janna is going to be a pretty strong support against the picks we have so far.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the Clamba22adors respond.
And those are locked in.
Orianna being thought about. Pantheon, also a really strong jungler right now. He's got a pretty good clear. He can invade at level 2. And, you know, because Vi kind of gets low during her jungle clear, he can invade and do a lot of damage early to that Vi. He's got really great early ganks with a lot of damage. He's got a lot of map presence, too, with his ultimate engage.
Yeah, both of these junglers with a very strong level 6 gank potential.
Yeah, and there's an immediate Draven lock-in. This Draven Leona is really, really aggressive from Galactic Trendsetters. I do like the Orianna pick, because I think the extra shield, along with the Orianna ultimate, because when you get teams diving in, as you know, Leona and Vi tend to do, they tend to clump up, which makes for a lot of really, really good chances and opportunities for an Orianna ultimate. That being said, Orianna and Janna don't quite mesh, you know, when you're thinking about defensive Orianna ults.
They do lock in that Ziggs pick as well. So he's going to offer them quite a lot of siege potential, poke potential.
Yeah, so right now we're looking for an AD carry and a top laner for Clamba22adors.
Vim 2 hovering over the Sivir. She's been a pretty popular pick in the LCS the last few weeks, so that's going to give a lot of... her ultimate obviously allows you to engage very solidly. Shaco being hovered.
I think that's a joke. I actually would like to see the Sivir pick here.
So we could actually see a top lane Pantheon if that...
Maybe, yeah. I think that Sivir would be a really good pick here because her ultimate can also be used as a really good disengage, and on top of that, her spell shield works really well against the likes of Leona and Vi. Jinx, I'm not that comfortable with because, you know, I think she's just not a safe champion, and against Leona and Vi, I mean, you're just going to have to play so far back. Poppy locked in. There is no top laner yet selected for Galactic Trendsetters, so we could see a bully. And yeah, Gnar locked in.
Very quick lock in on Gnar. So.
Gnar is a lane bully. Can definitely bully out that Poppy. So we are going to take a short break while we let this load in, and we will see you guys on the Rift.
Alrighty, hello everybody. We are back on the Rift for the start of Game 1. And we're already down here at the bottom, if I can get this mouse under control. So, welcome to the first game of the set between Galactic Trendsetters and Clamba22adors.
Clamba22adors. That's a flash.
It's official, and early flash there. That was Draven. Yeah. Draven don't need no flash.
Well,
he'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's not like Clamba22adors really can take advantage of that, given that they don't know it. This is actually maybe an early invade right now. We see Galactic Trendsetters setting up in the bush right here. Right now, Jinx and Janna are sitting in the tri-bush, and they don't really have any vision. There's no vision here. I'm not... Oh, God, I don't like the start from Clamba22adors. I think that Orianna really should have been in that bush.
Well, at the moment they're not finding anything, so they're gonna sit outside that red buff and no dance party yet.
Poppy just backed for some reason. I guess she's probably waiting for like an extra potion or something. It's kind of weird though because she doesn't have a teleport. So yeah.
So potential for early action. We see Jinx is leaving that tri-bush, wandering around. So we'll see how long Trendsetters commit to this, and okay, so they're gonna back into the river. Jinx and Janna, close run.
Well,
okay.
Actually, at about the time that Jinx and Janna were coming.
So nearly had some early engage. Ward in the red buff pit, and that's immediately spotted out by the blue side.
Yeah,
so,
and Nar's gonna make his way back up to the top lane.
Yeah, so we see some early posturing here from both sides. So, Damon, what do you want to talk about the team compositions real quick for both of these sides?
So we kind of have this weird but really strong AoE early game comp from the Galactic Trendsetters with the Leona, the Ziggs, and the Gnar. Not really what you would kind of expect from AoE, but I think there's good AoE, and there's got a lot of early game damage and pressure right there. From the Clamba22adors. They're just gonna like start walking forward and smacking them.
You can already see Draven with his axes putting down a little bit of damage onto that Jinx, and she's just gonna have so much trouble dealing with that in this early game.
Yeah, and because Jinx can't push back, especially with Janna, Draven's gonna get this early level 2 with the Leona, and you'll expect the Jinx to just start getting zoned really hard. What Clamba22adors really need to do is just stall this game out as late as possible. That is level 2, and Jinx just getting chunked. They can't dive this tower though, so Jinx should be a little bit safe. But yeah, with the Poppy and the Jinx, the later that this game goes, the better off Clamba22adors is going to be.
You can see even more trading. Jinx already down below half health. That's very early. Good trading for Draven there. It does get hit by the tornado, and we'll not really care. He's going to stay in lane and keep farming.
Looks like Poppy is actually pushing back this Gnar. Gnar is pretty full health. Pantheon might be coming in for a dive, but I don't really expect... Oh, he's just dropping a good ward. That is a really nice ward. Good communication there. Poppy is pushing up, and so it's nice to have that ward in the tri-bush. Actually, some early aggression right now.
And Gnar maybe chasing after Poppy. Won't go all the way. Pantheon coming back up through that tri-burst that he's already warded, and he is going to come in behind Gnar for a gank. Early 2-on-1 fight. Poppy pushing Gnar back and forces the flash. He will get back to his turret safely, but important summoner spell burned, and Gnar is probably going to have to recall off this one.
Yeah, I think that's actually a misplay on Poppy's part. It looked like that stun... She was trying to go for the stun on the wall. I'm actually not sure there would have been a kill anyway, but good flash from Gnar. Very safe play.
Yeah.
We should see Pantheon coming back. Oh, wow.
Yeah, going for more damage there, and we lost the Poppy. Not going to go for the dive. Gnar barely able to push her back, and he is going to recall there. So it is a airy day for Galactic Trendsetters, taking some early poke down in the bottom lane. Go back to... My keyboard shortcuts aren't working. So we're going to go look at the bottom lane here real quick. And a lot of trading back and forth. Both of these AD carries trying to go aggressively onto the other, but we can see that Draven, as you said, just much more able to get that sort of early game poke down and do a lot of damage with it.
Yeah. There isn't really actually that much of a CS lead, though, from Draven right now. Got
It's 30 CS to 21 at the moment.
Right, with, 4 of them, no, 3 of them now, ready to be, okay, 2 of them. Now, yeah, so that CS lead is going to start climbing. It is a little bit hard for Jinx to farm under turrets sometimes, especially with the pressure of a Draven.
As we see Gnar back again in that top lane. Now he's pushing the lane the other way, so Poppy shoving in early, but kind of getting pushed back as that wave crashes.
There's actually a really big CS lead for Poppy right now. It's got about 20 creeps plus the wave at her tower to basically free farm. Actually, Vi in the red side jungle might be skirmishing with Pantheon. Decides to leave the raptor beaks. Is that what they're called?
I think it's just the Raptors.
The Raptors. Leave the Raptors alone. Yeah. There is a good ward there. 2 spot out. Any ganks from Pantheon because the Galactic Trendsetters are pushing up that bottom lane.
Yeah, she starts going back into that jungle, but decides to just go out and start farming her own creeps. Back in the top lane, as you said, Poppy maintaining that 20 or so CS lead, so good early lane for Poppy there. In the bottom lane, Draven starting to pull ahead of Jinx on CS a little bit. He's now up to 40 CS to about 25. So we'll see if he can keep maintaining that lead down there.
Yeah, I think right now Jinx and Draven really... Sorry, Draven and Leona really want to go in, but they don't really have any vision on Pantheon, so they're kind of scared that they go in and all of a sudden get jumped on and lose.
Yeah, and Pantheon has mostly been... Oh. Yeah, sorry guys, working on the cursor. Oh no. Okay.
Poppy does have a 2-level advantage on Gnar right now.
Back to 1 level, as you say that. Trying to make it look bad.
It's a pretty big wave for Gnar to farm, but about 25 creeps. Probably we'll see about 15 or 20 once Gnar finishes up with that wave.
Yeah. So.
Poppy did go back and get her Sheen. Actually, Vi inside Pantheon's jungle right now, just stealing his creeps. Pantheon does get that smite bonus on the Raptors, and gets to clear that ward that Vi put down earlier.
And Vi smiting the wolves just to keep some vision in there. Orianna coming in to try and make her life difficult, as Vi will just continue taking Pantheon's jungle, as taking the Grump.
They don't really have much vision right now about Vi doing this. There's actually a really interesting pink ward from Poppy. Basically, it's there to prevent any kind of diving or trickery, and actually Vi's going to walk straight past it.
And we do get first blood from Poppy, so in those a lot of skirmishes with Gnar here in the early game, finally manages to make one of them pay off, and so she'll have a 20 CS lead as well as that first blood lead.
Yeah, so let's rewind and see what actually happened there.
There we go. Back to here.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my. That's... Oh my.
Okay, that's... Seems a little...
Okay.
little choppy there. Alright, we're gonna...
Try that again, maybe?
see what we can do.
Oh my. And he died. That's... Okay. Alright, I guess we're not going to see what happened. That's fine. Just jump back to live.
Yep. That... Alright, well...
Alright, cool.
We seem to be having some difficulties with the keyboard shortcuts at the moment.
And that's
we have a disconnect. That's
we should see a pause coming out. I don't know why we haven't seen a pause. There's the pause. Okay.
Alright. So disconnect that'll if we get sorted out. So yeah, Poppy... It's interesting, because you'd think that Gnar would be the early lane bully. Poppy managing to trade extremely well in the early game.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think maybe the Gnar was not something that they've practiced, or just everyone knows that Gnar is a really strong champion right now, and it could also just be that Gnar doesn't have much experience playing against a Poppy, and the burst from Poppy can be kind of surprising. On the other hand, Draven did get his BF sword. Jinx should have almost enough gold for that soon, so not losing too much in this lane.
Yeah, she is down about 20 CS still, but that's probably going to be the boots that Draven also picked up on that back.
Yeah.
So they should be pretty close on damage output.
Yeah, I think right now what the Galactic Trendsetters really need to do to make up for this Gnar is just try to get out of the laning phase as soon as possible, because Poppy's only going to keep growing this advantage. Draven can definitely bully out this Jinx and take this tower, and I think they probably want to gank from Vi. It would have been nice to get that pre-6, because once you get that Janna disengage, it's going to be a lot harder to dive.
Actually, interesting itemization from Oriana coming out. So if you notice, she took the double mana regen to start and has not backed yet. So
yeah, I think that's going to be building into the Forbidden Idol and then into Morellonomicon, which is a pretty standard buy.
yeah,
Ziggs is actually going for Chalice and probably Athene's Unholy Grail, which is not something we've seen for about a season, actually. Most people are opting for the Morellonomicon, but I guess the extra magic resist is pretty good.
And we are playing on the newest patch, of course, so the Morellonomicon just got a little bit more expensive than it had been, so balancing the Athenes a little bit more and trying to get it back to playable.
Yeah.
We're being informed on Twitch chat that there are technical difficulties for one of the players, so we're going to hope that Leona can get back into games soon.
And actually, yeah, the double fairy charm can go into Chalice. It's true. I would have expected a Doran's Ring to start, honestly, but it's whatever. Vi is up about 11 creeps, which is non-trivial in the jungle, given that most of the creeps are. It's probably about 4 camps or so, which is a good chunk of change and some good experience.
Most of those Pantheon's camps,
right? Of course. And like you mentioned earlier, smiting that wolf is actually really nice because inside their jungle, they'll get to see Pantheon walking up to his blue buff, and Gnar will get any kind of, warnings, basically, from that angle of where Pantheon is. Although, of course, there is no vision in the river right now.
Yeah. You can see the Clamba22adors with an early pink ward in their Tribrush. It's a very defensive pink ward, so you can see up in the Tribrush in the top lane next to Poppy.
Yeah.
So,
what that probably signals is that Poppy's going to start trying to freeze. Close to her tower, and then, basically hope that Gnar loses out on even more CS, and then, she also can't get dove because of that pink ward. We'll have to see if Poppy can set up that freeze, and if she does, whether or not some presence from Vi can help out Gnar. I don't expect Vi to really go top lane, though, because, once you start losing a lane, especially against like a Poppy who's already got her Sheen, just a lot of burst damage, it becomes that much harder for a jungler to try to rescue that lane.
Yeah, so I think Vi maybe gonna try and cycle around bottom lane. We're still waiting to unpause, although we did see Leona coming back into the game, so that unpause should be soon. But just try and further press that advantage that they have in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and the game is resuming now.
Alrighty, and we are back into it. So Draven
Poppy is going to be setting up this freeze. You can see the minion wave is just kind of pushing in right there. She'll probably start tanking the creeps soon.
Yeah, and first blue buff of the game going over to Oriana. So we can see the mid laner. She's going to have a lot of mana.
Yeah, Vi actually has 2 levels on Pantheon right now. 1 level now that the blue buff is gone, which is really, really nice. Oh, actually, this is really bad for Jinx if she doesn't back soon. She's already down the BS sword, and really good Janna Tornado.
Yeah, so good disengage on the bottom side. We'll see Jinx warding the river there in the middle, so he'll get back into lane against Oriana.
Yeah,
and
I do expect Vi to probably grab the blue buffer, send it over to Ziggs, and then head bottom lane. Okay. Try to get like a tower or a dragon.
So, apologies for the camera. You still do seem to be having some difficulties with the shortcuts. Be getting those resolved. So
Pantheon actually looks to be coming around from behind toward the Ziggs. Ziggs is going to play safe, just walk away. Does spot out Pantheon.
Yep. So it's been a fairly passive mid lane so far. No real trading between those two sides. You do see Draven and Leona already getting a big chunk of damage down onto that tower. So that tower is more than half dead. Jinx comes back into lane, does manage to get them away, and Draven will trade back some damage. Misses the axe.
Yeah, like you're talking about with the Oriana and the Ziggs, both of those are just kind of stall and farm champions, so that blue buff is going to be going over to Ziggs.
Missed the blue buff.
Red buff.
BM jungle.
Yeah. So that's not too bad, though. I mean, giving Vi another blue buff, really. More experience. She's level 7 now. She should be coming up.
Yeah.
Probably. Or, she could just kind of wander around. It's an engage from Leona.
Leona and Janna just disengaging right off that, so Leona engage and not able to do too much there. They'll push back.
Vi coming in.
Both junglers actually coming in now, so we see Vi and Pantheon. They will not quite run into each other. Vi hanging out up here in the Tri-Brush. Will they try and dive this turret? And Pantheon sees Vi in there. They may try and turn on the red jungler here. We see Jinx missing that skill shot. And Vi actually was standing on top of a pink ward here. We now see a fight. Pantheon getting jumped on. Everyone getting on that fight. Draven ultimate going out, putting down some damage onto Janna. And they're now taking the turret. The Jinx ultimate putting a lot of damage in. Nobody going down just yet. Leona going to try and run away and will make it out. So, big fight there, but no kills.
Yeah, and actually, meanwhile, while it was going on bottom lane, we missed a kill top lane. Poppy is just taking Gnar to town right now. 50 creeps up. Going to pick up that phage. Or not the phage. Merc Treads.
Merc Treads, actually. So, interesting choice laning against Gnar to go with those Merc Treads.
Yeah, it's probably just to be safe against the Vi ganks, potentially.
Yeah. We're here in the mid lane again. You can see neither of these two mid laners have really lost any health, so very passive mid lane, a lot of farm. As you said at the beginning of the game, Orianna really just going to try and get... keep things stalled out until the late game so that the rest of that team can scale up.
It looks like
again, another bot lane gank coming in. Vi trying to get the engage down on both of them. She uses the ultimate, and Jinx will be getting burst down by Draven, and Draven does pick up the kill. So Vim 2, his first kill on Draven. So that aggressive bottom lane now starting to pay off. A good gank coming in there from Vi, as she'll take out the Tri-Brush pink ward.
So what actually happened there is, early on, when they were fighting, I think when Vi came earlier, Janna used her ult, and Jinx actually burned her flash as well, even though she didn't need to. That's a really big deal, because at that point she was pushed up. Oh my damages.
And yeah, you can just see that burst from Poppy. So that was the slam into the wall and one auto attack with that Sheen, and half of Gnar's health bar is gone.
Her Q as well as an auto attack reset. Galactic Trendsetters are going to pass up on this dragon, actually, which is...
Yeah.
Okay, so they're making a roam up to mid lane. Yes. Orianna's going to play safe. The ward in the river is going to spot out Draven.
Trying to pressure. We'll see if Leona goes for the engage underneath the tower. She will not, and they'll just get pushed back pretty easily.
Yeah, right now Draven's up about 40 creeps on Jinx. Does have a pickaxe in his inventory.
And now coming up top lane, Pantheon trying to set up another gank on Gnar, but runs straight through a ward in that Tri-Brush.
Yeah, he did have the Raptors smite buff active, so
team fight in mid. Orianna completely missing that ultimate, and that is huge as they'll now look to turn it around. That's going to be a 2 for none. So actually, that's 2 for none in the mid lane. Poppy yet another return kill. Follow the rocket, and hits Leona in the top lane.
I actually don't know if she can do this.
Not really a lot of follow-up. Yeah,
Leona doesn't really have that much damage by herself.
Support Leona against Poppy. Poppy might just be able to burst her down, and... Oh, the Poppy ultimate coming out. She's not taking turret damage. Oh, boy. And that is...
Alright.
Okay, well... Does get the return kill. Red team, meanwhile, taking the dragon, so a whole lot of action going on in that couple minutes. Blue team does get the dragon timer, so Clamba22adors will know when that next one is coming up.
Yeah, and Vi actually didn't smite there, which I think is kind of silly. Definitely could have been stolen by Jinx. As actually we've seen in the LCS, both CLG and Curse have stolen a dragon from each other with a Jinx W. So, yeah. Oh, well. Dragon picked up. It's fine.
Shielding that mid turret will give time for Orianna to come back and clear the wave there. Yeah. LCS big plays, rocket assist. That is exactly right, Twitch chat.
I do like this early vision, actually, from the Clamba22adors in the top lane. They know that Poppy could be a big focus, just because she's really strong late game and she had such an early advantage. And so they had Poppy pick up the pink ward and put it in that tri-bush to prevent any early dives. And then Pantheon, actually, who's coming in for a gank right now.
And Gnar looked like he was getting out. Pantheon burning the flash to go in for the harder engage, and... Will they be able to finish the dive under the turret? They will. And then this Poppy is just getting so strong. That's now 4-1-1. Got two out of 3 parts for the Triforce already in this early game.
Yeah, and I think they actually could have probably given that kill over to Poppy, but it's nice to be safe in case Vi had been around to try to clean up.
Yeah, now Pantheon swinging over to the mid lane. He'll try and get a pickup on Ziggs as well, although Oriana is not following in with him, so this is just a one-on-one duel, and Ziggs will safely disengage with that explosive charge.
The satchel charge.
Satchel charge, yes. Thank you.
So right now, I expect that they probably want to try to rotate their bottom lane, Galactic Trendsetters that is, rotate their bottom lane either to mid lane if they can get through the Oriana wave clear, or if not, just up to Poppy and try to get a shutdown.
That's exactly what they're doing. You see both those bottom laners rotating up to the mid. They did run through some wards on the way there, so Oriana wisely backing up behind the turret, play very safely. We now have 4 in the mid lane. You can see that Poppy taking that turret on the top side. Gnar just wants absolutely nothing to do with Poppy at this point, and he'll let her get that pretty safely.
Yeah, and they really need to get this turret because Jinx is pushing up in the bottom lane. And that's a dead Janna. That's got to be a dead Janna.
Now, Oriana, good ultimate out of Oriana, so Janna does go down, and Jinx trying to get it. That's now 2 kills in the mid lane for Galactic Trendsetters. So the top turret, that's a pretty good trade there, although we do see a second turret going down. So when all the carnage clears, that's 2 turrets for a turret and 2 kills. Galactic Trendsetters pushing down the mid, and both of those side lanes getting pushed by Clamba22adors.
Yeah, and actually with Oriana being dead now, they don't actually have much wave clear anymore. I don't expect to see a dive here, but we should see this tower going down.
And, well, we do see a dive. That's 4-on-1, Draven picking up the kill, just so much damage. Now Poppy going to try and get the chase on, see if she can get some kind of
run,
turnaround.
Draven, run!
Run so much burst from Poppy. Will she'll finish out the kill? She will. Getting chased down now, Leona catching onto her, and Vi does pick up that kill in return. So Poppy trying to get the kill, and let's see if they follow them into the Clamba22adors jungle, but Galactic Trendsetters look like they're gonna pull off now.
Yeah, and right now, actually, we see Gnar doing a really smart thing. He's not pushing that wave at all. He's letting it sit very, very close to the turret and just like try to pick up as many creeps as he possibly can. The wave is really big, and it's going to take a really long time to push back. So it'll be nice for him to catch up and farm. And until that wave starts pushing back, there isn't really much that Poppy can do besides just try to group with her team and get an advantage elsewhere.
And we do see Ziggs successfully picking up the blue buff that time, although he's getting zoned out to the side by Oriana. So actually some really good turret pushing by Clamba22adors. That's now all 3 outer turrets. We do see Ziggs ulting onto Janna, getting her pretty low, but that's not going to save the turret.
Yeah, and just like we expected, this Draven is up on this Jinx right now. He's got 3 kills and an extra 30 creeps, which does mean that he's got a Brutalizer and, the components of his Infinity Edge actually built into the Infinity Edge.
And we see another team fight happening in mid. Pantheon locking on there. Leona trying to use that Solar Flare to disengage. And a lot of damage trading back and forth. No kills, but Clamba22adors will have to back up off this one. You see a couple of their members going pretty low. And a lot, as you said, with the Oriana not in play, just a lot more wave clear on the side of Galactic Trendsetters, so they'll be pushing down this mid lane pretty aggressively. And now they're collapsing onto Pantheon in the blue side jungle. He can't do anything there. Quickly burst down.
Yeah, and Galactic Trendsetters actually played that really well because they couldn't actually have a 4v5 team fight. They're not that far ahead, especially with how strong Poppy is right now. So what they did instead is they used Leona, disengaged, backed off, and then went and looked for a pick and found Pantheon. And right now I'm actually still not even sure that they can 4v4 team fight just because how strong Poppy is and how great Poppy is at, isolating a target like Draven and demolishing him.
Again, Gnar continuing to pretty much freeze that lane top, and we'd see another team fight in mid. And Ziggs picks up the kill with that ultimate. Scumbag Ziggs, long range kill there. As Clamba22adors trying to back off that fight.
Yeah, so this is about 19 minutes in. There's a 4,000 gold lead from Galactic Trendsetters. Right now, they really need some strong picks from Pantheon and Poppy and just, kill people. Right there, Poppy was farming bottom lane. Galactic Trendsetters knows that Poppy really is their only threat. And so once Poppy shows herself bottom lane, just go in, kill people, do whatever they want.
And a good deep ward in that jungle by Ziggs. Of course, Clamba22adors will know that they're coming, and they're going to collapse onto Dragon. So Clamba22adors are coming toward the Dragon Pit. They do know that Galactic Trendsetters are doing this Dragon right now. So post Dragon fight, and Vi does get the kill. Ooh, nearly got the Jinx missile in there, but
yeah, and actually Gnar roamed down. I don't think that was the right play. He does have teleport, and he actually could have probably put a lot of damage on that turret. as it stands, he wasn't actually even needed, and so he just kind of wasted his time. Oriana's going to go up there, pick up that farm, and at the same time, I think Vi might be going in and stealing their blue buff.
Yeah, so yet more jungle steal for Vi in there. So she's doing a good job trying to prevent Pantheon from getting his own jungle. Oh, pushed off by the blue team. So looks like they'll give that blue buff over to Oriana, and indeed she will pick it up. So
yeah,
Vi attempting to counter jungle there, getting pushed off.
It was a good thought from Vi, but unfortunately she didn't have any pressure.
And another fight here on Pantheon. Vi coming in with the engage, can't really follow up on it. There's not enough damage on that Vi. She is building for heavier tank stats at the moment, so not going to be able to do a whole lot, sort of 1v1 to actually pick up that kill.
Yeah, and they're actually funneling a lot of resources into this Gnar right now, just sitting in bottom lane to pick up some more farm.
Yeah, so Gnar effectively acting as a split pusher here. I think they're just trying to overcome that early, really big deficit. You can see he's still 40 CS down on Poppy, and also the 040 is not going to help that gold.
But it's actually pretty good for Galactic Trendsetters now because Poppy hasn't been farming all that much. She's just been kind of grouping and trying to make sure that this Draven and Leona doesn't run away with the game.
So you can see largely grouping in mid lane now as Galactic Trendsetters try and just sort of push that lane down to get that inner turret. So you see 3 turrets to 2 now in favor of Clamba22adors. It's that top lane outer turret still up for the blue side. So some turret trading here. As Pantheon going to attempt to do some counter jungling, is going to be spotted out by Ziggs here, although Pantheon's just going to jump on him. Vi not reacting quickly, but they're going to be able to turn it around. Draven, just huge damage, and Poppy, just that damage ticking down onto Ziggs, gets the kill, although she is shut down right afterwards.
And yeah, right there, Pantheon and Poppy grouped for the Leona ultimate, and then the Draven damage, and, Draven hurts, let's be real. Right now, Draven 6-1 and 5, 160 CS, does have his Infinity Edge and his Ghostblade. I think the Clamba22adors are going to have a really hard time just, finding any way to come back now, especially with Gnar grouped. He does have his Rando and Zoman. Really strong tank.
Draven flash engage, really aggressive engage off Draven. Leona coming in as well. She's going to get stuck underneath the turret. Pantheon trying to come down on top of them now. And huge team fight. Draven picking up another kill. The Oriana ultimate actually doing a whole lot of great crowd control there as she will manage to live through it. Pantheon picking up the kills in the end. But that was a great Oriana shockwave in the middle of that team fight.
Yeah, that was a 2-for-1, but with the shutdown on Draven. So,
and
right there, I think Galactic Trendsetters just trying to make a play, and actually, Vi's going to be spotted out by this pink ward. We'll see if Pantheon reacts. See, this Vi is counter jungling, and it's nice, it's a good thought, but the problem is that right now, none of our team has any pressure anywhere, so...
And has to flash over the wall to get out of that in the end. So the threat of the Poppy is just huge at the moment.
Yeah. Basically, without any pressure on the map anywhere else, there's nothing stopping Pantheon's team from responding to Vi in the jungle and, just stopping her and forcing her out.
As Jinx farming up on that very large wave in the bottom, so appreciate that piece of farm there.
Yeah. And because Draven's been grouped up so much, he hasn't really been getting all the farm and the resources. Those have been mostly going over to...
Leona trying for the deep ward in the jungle, spotted out by Poppy. Will she be able to disengage out of that? Oriana burning the ultimate to bring her back in. And Poppy does pick up the kill, but that was used a pretty important team fighting ultimate there to get it. So we'll see if Galactic Trendsetters can take advantage of that in the next team fight coming up. So that was Oriana ultimate burn for support kill.
Yeah. And I think it's worth it, really. The cooldown on the ultimate won't be too long, and they know that they can just play safe until that ultimate comes off. I think, Galactic Trendsetters has a lot of really good ideas of what they should be doing, but they just aren't really coordinating their map pressure how they should be. Like, Leona going in for a deep ward is fine if you have someone that can either back you up or, the Clamba22adors have to respond to something somewhere else. But as it stands, there's nothing on the map anywhere for Clamba22adors to be doing, besides like farming or wandering around. And because Leona walks over a ward, Poppy and Oriana can collapse and just kill her.
Yeah, and you can see that Clamba22adors is starting to get vision around Dragon. That's going to be coming up in a little bit under a minute. But before that, looks like we're going to have a big team fight in the mid. Leona coming in from around the side, going to try and get the engage down onto Jinx.
Yeah, and that Orion ultimate's not quite on cooldown, so they really don't want to fight right now. They do need to be careful for that Pantheon engage, Galactic Trendsetters.
Yeah, so Trendsetters are now completely grouped, all 5 in the mid right here, trying to push down this wave. It looks like just trying to get it cleared out so they can get that dragon fight. Vi going for the counter jungle. She's going to get caught out by Poppy in here, and
that's a bad Orion ultimate.
Oh my Ziggs, just so much AoE damage. The carnage is slowing down everything. When it all settles, it's a 3 for 2 right now for for Trendsetters rather.
Yeah, and they are going to push on this tower. They've got Ziggs for the tower sieging and the Gnar tankiness with the additional stats of Mega Gnar plus the Randuin's Omen. There's really nothing that, you know, a half health, or I'm sorry, an almost dead Orianna and a half health Pantheon can do.
Yeah, so you saw the Orianna ultimate used in there only caught on to Vi, so it looks like they were really trying to punish Vi for going for the aggressive counter jungling, and yeah, with that ultimate burn, Trendsetters just had a lot of AoE. That Ziggs ultimate was huge, just burning down everyone in the middle of the team fight, and they're now going to pick up the dragon. Ooh, Jinx just a little bit too early, and Trendsetters will pick up that dragon. So it's going to be their 3rd dragon buff of the game right now.
Yeah, Orianna really needs to start saving her ultimate. Oh,
Pantheon diving onto the recalls, and he catches Leona. Well timed.
Yeah, that's really smart from Pantheon. You just see the ward, and you know his ultimate's faster than a recall timer. So Draven is still up a lot on Jinx. He does have a Bloodthirster completed. Really going to start hurting in these team fights.
Yeah. Jinx trying to catch up on CS a little bit by just split pushing down there in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and she has been catching up on CS. Cut that 40 CS up, going in on Orianna.
Pretty aggressive.
Just going to back off.
Yeah, Orianna to be able to disengage with that dissonance there. Slow Draven down enough to get him off.
Yeah, I would like to see, just from Galactic Trendsetters, I think that they could do a lot more in the way of, you know, coordinated aggression. Earlier on, we saw Draven flash forward with Leona, and then turn into a 2v4 and basically trade a 2-for-1 plus a shutdown. That I think went to Poppy, who now has 8 kills, does have her Trinity Force, does have her Blade of the Ruined King. Had Draven and Leona had backup, that would have been a really great engage and a really great fight. But, you know, 2v4 is really hard, and with that great Orianna Shockwave, like you mentioned a little while back, it's hard.
Yeah, so now Galactic Trendsetter is going to rotate around to the bottom lane. We'll see if they want to get some pressure onto this bottom turret.
Yeah, and Orianna's topside, so this should be pretty free. They don't really have much wave clear besides like Jinx rockets, and Jinx actually might get jumped on.
Yeah, so Jinx managing to stay back safely, but that turret goes down really quickly. And if Orianna stays up topside, she's not rotated down yet. They might be able to push in and get a little bit of damage onto this inhibitor turret. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to try and do. Good Janna Tornado locks up a couple of them, and Mega Gnar popping at exactly the right time. Ziggs, again, with great AoE damage. And
feel for Draven.
Feel for Draven. Draven trying to get away here, and Poppy going for that aggressive kill onto Draven does get shut down. Oh, great solar flare out of Leona. Janna does have to burn the flash to get out. And just so much, a lot of spells going on in here. Unfortunately, we're lagging out slightly. Exhaust going on to Jinx. She does get shut down underneath the turret. We'll see if Trendsetters can get back away. Ziggs just managing to survive with the burn from that turret after picking up yet another kill on Janna. So
yeah, that
settles a 4 for
really bad Orianna ultimate. Orianna's only been landing her shockwaves on one person at a time, and she actually just completely whiffed one a lot earlier in the game.
Yeah. So as it ended up, a great team fight for Trendsetters. They do get that first inhibitor down of the game, as they'll all be recalling Vi, doing a little bit more counter jungling. She's gonna pick up that red buff or give it over to Draven. Looks like it's not a kill steal if Draven does it.
So what happened in that team fight is basically Poppy just went so ham, chased down Draven, and actually almost killed him, burned both of Draven's summoners, and I mean Draven had like a sliver of health. Ended up finally getting the kill onto Poppy with the Bloodthirster and the Dangerous Game. He healed up just a bit, and then was able to come back and start, you know, doing more damage. And Gnar actually flashing out, really scared of Poppy right now.
Very quick flash, and she'll get onto him anyway. Ziggs gonna come in and try and push her off, and
a good satchel charge.
Yep. Doesn't land, but does force Poppy away from trying to get the kill onto Gnar. So another thing, in that last team fight, you saw Meganar popping right as that team fight started.
Yeah,
and Poppy
that was really great
trying to
timing.
go in for the kill on Gnar, and suddenly he has, twice as much health. So that made it really difficult for...
Yeah, and this is actually what I was talking about earlier about Leona really not being able to walk out by herself. Really great to have Ziggs back up. And actually Vi building a Trinity Force now, which is pretty interesting. Does have her Randuin's Omen and Ninja Tabby, so
for more
it's pretty
damage.
tanky.
And Trade's going back and forth. Oh, Ziggs getting that ult onto 3 people again. We see him doing so much damage with that ultimate.
Oh my
Back and forth. Draven getting the kill on Orianna. Leona gets exhausted. You can see as Draven picks up the double kill, Ziggs stealing the third
my
one.
Draven.
And yeah, and we can see Galactic Trendsetters are just winning all of the team fights at this point in the game.
Yeah, I mean Draven just does so much damage. Yeah.
And Neil has been doing an excellent job catching his axes and keeping that damage output high.
And actually, he got a Randuin's Omen. It's a really interesting defensive item. It's actually pretty smart when you think about it. Like, what's gonna happen is Poppy's gonna start chasing him and running him down. What he'll do is he'll pop his Randuin's Omen so she gets slowed, and her attack speed gets slowed. And attack speed is a really important part of Poppy's damage.
Yeah, as we can see, Galactic Trendsetters picking up the second inhibitor of the game, and
Maybe even rotating up to that top lane.
yeah, they're gonna try and push in with this wave. It's not a huge wave, but the wave clear from Clamba22adors is just not there yet again. So Orianna is back in base.
Yeah, and
So-
Jinx is down bottom lane because there's just such a massive wave of super minions piling up. And really they can't ignore that. So really great rotation from Galactic Trendsetters right now.
And Clamba22adors is going to try and push him off here.
Ult Orianna, ult!
And Poppy going real deep, trying to get the kill onto Draven again. Can she get it? No, Draven pushing her back. And picks up the kill. That's actually a Gnar getting the kill. Oh, we do see, unfortunately, a disconnect in the middle of all this, but...
I don't think it matters.
Trendsetters-
Draven's alive and Draven's killing everything.
Yeah, Trendsetters turning that around once again. It's a 3-for-1 trade in the end. And they're going to be pushing on to this last inhibitor turret that we have up here.
Yeah, and really Gnar, had a...
And Vi maybe looking to go deep for a fight. Draven ultimate coming out. Will Vi be able to get in the kill?
She's out of mana. I don't know that she can.
She's out of mana and does get forced back by those double Nexus turrets. But meanwhile, while Vi was occupying both of the surviving players for Clamba22adors, they pushed down that last inhibitor. So that's now going to be gigantic waves of super minions coming in on every lane.
Yeah, and what's probably going to happen now is Galactic Trendsetters are going to heal up by probably go take Baron, maybe Dragon, and then push in with, Baron up 3 waves of super minions and just kind of end the game. Right now it's a 14,000 gold lead, and there's honestly not much that the Clamba22adors can do. Gnar really played this, given how badly his laning phase went, he actually has played this game really, really well. He soaked up a lot of resources in the top lane, picked up a lot of farm, and then started grouping, and basically he's done his job. He doesn't need to engage, right? Yeah. All he needs to do is save Draven, because, you've got this, 13 kill Draven with, at this point he's got 6 items, right?
And Draven is actually going to just help Vi take the dragon that's going down extremely quickly, so this is going to be the 4th dragon stack onto the red team.
Yeah.
So at this point, Clamba22adors now they can't lose a dragon fight because that 5th dragon stack basically loses you the game. Not
that they can really win at this point anyway.
Whatever they've got left is going to be even more difficult, and they're actually just going to rotate straight up to the Baron. There's no vision down at all from Clamba22adors around this Baron, so
yeah,
if they want to try for the Jinx ult steal, they're going to be doing it completely blind.
They probably should have just gone for Baron first and walked up to end the game, because now they've got an inhibitor respawn, and so the waves are going to start thinning out. Draven actually recalling, which I think he shouldn't. I guess they're just trying to play this really safe, but at this point, really, they can just fight in the base and win. And actually, yeah, Draven canceling the recall. They're going to walk forward. They're going to end this game. There's really not much that the Clamba22adors can really do.
As you can see, this inhibitor has respawned, but not for long, as Draven is going to... Leona and Gnar pushing that down immediately. There's... Yep, and that's, once again, all 3 inhibitors down. These last few minutes have been a 4v5 as we see Ziggs finally reconnecting.
I'm surprised they didn't pause. I guess, yeah, not really needed at this point.
Yeah.
Just have Draven walk up and eat things.
Both Nexus turrets just getting pushed down quite safely. We just see Baron buff, super minions all over the place. That's the first Nexus turret going down. The second one should follow quite quickly. Draven picking up a kill on Pantheon as we see the Nexus turrets, and 2 kills